2 spinach varieties that will surely satisfy your taste buds. The first variety of spinach we will be looking at today is Malabar spinach. Now this spinach variety is a little different from other spinach varieties because it's a perennial spinach. It just keeps growing as long as you care for it, and you can keep harvesting the spinach all along the life cycle of the plant. Unlike other spinach varieties which only grow in the cool season, this Malabar spinach will grow right throughout the year, and it is a perennial spinach, so no matter what kind of weather you have, the spinach will keep growing and producing a lot of spinach leaves. And there is no specified harvest time for this spinach. You can just keep harvesting as the plant grows. And you can see the leaf here. The leaf is a little bit larger and more fleshy compared to the other spinach varieties. Now the reason I'm talking about Malabar spinach is because it's very healthy. If you look at the nutritional profile, which you see on your screen right now, and the best thing I like about the nutritional profile is that it's very high in protein compared to the number of calories it has. So if you're eating a lot of vegetables and want to get in a lot of protein, Malabar spinach is a very good choice. Now it's generally not very easy to find seeds for Malabar spinach, so I'll try to find a link for you to buy the seeds and put it in the video description, so make sure you check that out. Now you can sow the spinach seeds directly in the soil. However, I was starting my seeds in winter, and for the seeds to germinate, I did start them indoors, and it was much easier for me to start the seeds indoors and then transplant it into this container. And this is a very small 12-inch container. It holds about 3 gallons of soil, and this is quite enough for the spinach to start growing at least for the next couple of years, I'm hoping. And since this is a vining spinach variety, you need to make sure that you provide some kind of support. I'm just using some short tomato cages here. Now the only problem that I found with growing the spinach was that slugs were eating it too, but slugs like to eat all sorts of leafy vegetables. So if you're growing spinach, just make sure that you do some kind of slug control, and I'll hopefully have another video on how to do slug control easily in your garden. And here is a recipe with Malabar spinach, so sit back and enjoy, and I hope you like the recipe. So the next spinach variety we will take a look at is flat leaf spinach. Now the characteristic of the flat leaf spinach is that it does not have any curls on its leaves. So the ones that are curled are called savoyed spinach, and this is the other variety which is called the flat leaf spinach. Now these spinach seedlings can be grown indoors. You can sow the seeds in seed starting mixes and then transplant them later. So this is a cool season crop, so I started my seeds in winter, and then I was able to transplant them in other containers and in raised beds very easily. Spinach is one of the vegetables that transplants very nicely. No problems with transplanting at all. So the first container that you're looking at here is a whiskey barrel. Now one of the benefits of using a whiskey barrel container is that it gives you a large surface area, and what that lets you do is it lets you grow vegetables like spinach, which occupy a lot of space on the surface and do not have very deep root systems. But the whiskey barrel container should have more than enough soil that you need to grow spinach. You can even grow spinach in smaller pots like the one you're seeing here. These are also transplanted after germinating. And you can also grow spinach in raised beds, and raised beds also have a lot of area available, and spinach grows great in raised beds. And spinach, just like most other leafy greens, can also grow in partial shade. What partial shade means is that the plant should still be getting about 3 to 4 hours of sunlight every day. And remember that this spinach variety is an annual variety, which means that you grow the spinach, you harvest the leaves while it's growing, and when the growing cycle completes and they start flowering, you can remove the entire spinach plant and use it. Unless, of course, you want to save the seeds and use it for the future crop the following year. Spinach, being a green leafy vegetable, has high requirements for nitrogen, so make sure that you are using a lot of high nitrogen fertilizers like manure, fish fertilizer, seaweed, or any fertilizer that's high in nitrogen. So here is a bunch that we just harvested. Characteristic flat leaf spinach with light green leaves and a very nice buttery taste. And you can harvest a lot of spinach from, let's say, growing on a raised bed. As you harvest the leaves, the spinach plant will keep growing, keep producing more leaves, and you can grow spinach for a long time before the temperatures become warm and hot. And when the temperatures do get hot, the spinach plant will go into bolt, which means that it will start producing flowers and seeds and stop producing any more new leaves. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode of growing these two spinach varieties. The reason I mentioned about these two varieties specifically is because one variety, which is the Malabar spinach, is pretty unique in the way that it's a perennial spinach, and the other spinach, which is the flat leaf spinach, is an excellent buttery and delicious spinach. I'll see you again soon. Happy gardening.